Hi, my name's Peter Tayler, 24 Lives Per Second, somewhat infrequent overseas reviewer, and this is my top 5 films of 2012. In at number 5 is a documentary called Searching for Sugar Man, about an artist named Rodriguez in the 70s who has somewhat Dylan-esque lyrics, and if you like documentaries or if you like music, then you will like this film. Try and find it. You can get it on DVD, it's quite readily available. It didn't have a wide cinema release, but I managed to catch it when it was out. It was just a really interesting film. It's basically, as I said, about this Rodriguez guy. He got a record deal in the 70s, released 2 albums in the States. No one bought them, absolutely no one bought them. Somehow his record found its way to South Africa. Now at that time he'd gone into obscurity, he was doing building work. But in South Africa it absolutely blew up, but no one knew anything about him. So this film is about these people's discovery to try and find out what happened to this Rodriguez. And the only information they had to go on was that, or that they thought they knew, is that there was 2 versions of his suicide. One that he'd set himself on fire on stage, the other is that he shot himself on stage, and it's just a really interesting this journey of discovery, finding out what this guy did and how they track him down, and it's just fascinating. And I actually bought one of this guy's albums after I saw the documentary, and it just gives the songs a bit more meaning because you can just remember the parts of the film, you've seen what this guy's been through, and it's really interesting. If you can get a chance to see this film, please do, because it really is very good. In at number 4 is a Norwegian film called Headhunters, which I discovered quite late, but I really enjoyed it. Great central performances from Axel Hennie and Nicholas Coster-Waldau, who you might remember as the blonde one from Game of Thrones, specifically the blonde one who is having sex with his sister. The plot of this is basically about an art thief, and it's about him stealing paintings, obviously, until he meets this other character, a former mercenary who has a very expensive painting, when it takes an extremely weird direction, and it just is batshit crazy for most of it. The plot isn't always believable, but you just don't care. It's absolutely enthralling. Another one that I definitely recommend. Number 3 is Moonrise Kingdom. I am a bit of an Anderson fan, but even if you're not, please do watch this film. It's just, as you'd expect, very heartfelt. But with some Anderson films, I don't tend to find them as funny as they might be. This one I thought was hilarious. The 2 child actors in it are extremely good, and even if you are the most miserable person in the world, you will walk out of this smiling, trust me. Number 2 is the surprise of the year for me, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'm aware it's an awful name. I was dragged to go and see this against my will, but it was just brilliant. I thought it was going to be the Hermione show based on the trailer. She isn't in it all that much, and when she is, she's actually quite bearable. But it actually hinges on an amazing central performance from Logan Lerman, I believe is the second name. And he just sold it so well as this sort of troubled teenager. And it's basically about his life, how he's dealing with the stress of certain events that have happened around him. And it's great supporting cast, specifically Ezra Miller, who you might remember from We Need to Talk About Kevin. Just great characters, amazing story. And they just got it right with this one. The director actually was the guy that wrote the original novel, so that might have been a reason for it. And at number 1, which I'm sure will be of no surprise to the rest of the 24 Lives Per Second group, is American Pie: The Reunion. I just can't imagine a better comedy, such good characters, so heartfelt, just never meet. No, okay, it's not that. I am lying. In at number 1 is The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not going to say too much about this film, as it's probably already been said anyway. I just absolutely loved it, and I went to see this in IMAX, and I had hugely expansive, crazy expectations for it, which is stupid because I never like to have that, but it met every one of them. I haven't enjoyed myself in a cinema that much for many years. And that's just what film is all about to me. I loved it, and I'll see it again and again and again. I also just want to give a quick honourable mention to 21 Jump Street as one of the best comedies of the year, and I will speak to you again in 2013.